At this point, it felt like everything was starting to slip away. Right, I need to explain something before we start this episode. Unfortunately, my recording crashed during our huge run of games, including the first leg against Sevilla. And honestly, it couldn't have happened at a worse time. The title race was heating up, and we had the big European semi-final game against Sevilla. So let's see how this one played out. So the first game we actually lost the footage of was the game against Celtic in the Scottish Cup semi-final, which we lost 4-2. So nothing too important there. We went on to beat Hearts in the next game 3-1 with a goal from Cullen and Litherland and an own goal. And then the next game, we actually beat Sevilla at home 2-1, which would have been brilliant to show you. But unfortunately, I've got no footage, so it is what it is. And then the final game was a 2-1 defeat in the league against Rangers. And after all that catching up we did against Celtic, it looks like we might have just thrown it away. So after those games, this is where we currently sit in the league. 3 games left and we're 3 points behind Celtic. But we do have Celtic to play on the last game of the season. So there's still a chance. It's not completely over yet. And as you'll see from the fixtures, they've still got Rangers left to play as well as Hibs and then us final game of the season. So the results in the next few games are going to decide whether we take this down to the final game of the season against Celtic or whether it's over before we even get there. But this is it. We're one step away from the European Conference League final. As long as we don't lose this game, we're going to be playing the winner between the team from Istanbul, who I still can't pronounce their name, and Lazio. So likely to be Lazio. Let's see how we get on. Obviously, we're going into this with a 2-1 lead from the first leg. And you might think, surprisingly, we've started with Amaro and Awa both on the bench. Let's see if that costs us. There's 5 minutes in. Cullen with a free kick out on the left-hand side. Whips it to the far post. It's cleared only as far as Keskinen, though. And you know how dangerous he's been for us this season. He plays it down the line to Brenner, who turns, gives it to Ralston. Ralston finds Keskinen in the centre of the box. He makes it 1-0 and puts us in front. 6 minutes in, 3-1 on aggregate, and things are looking great. Things are looking far too good, to be honest. I did not expect us to start off this well. I didn't even expect us to win against Aston Villa. Who else did we? Monaco. And then we make things more difficult. It's straight from the kickoff from us scoring. They go down the right-hand side, cross it into the box, and Nosa decides he's just going to push Romero over, which leads to a penalty and away potentially back into the match for Sevilla. So after confirmation from VAR, it is going to be a penalty, and it's going to be, I'm going to go with PK. Apologies if that's wrong, but it's going to be PK to step up and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, making it 1-1, and the tie is back alive for Sevilla, and we've kind of let them back into this here. The worry of a comeback, though, is eased 9 minutes later after we gave them a penalty, with Nosta playing it into Redondo, who finds a great ball over the top to Cullen, who FIFA sweats it straight to Keskinen to score an open goal, putting us 2-1 ahead in the match and 4-2 ahead in the tie, giving us a 2-goal advantage again. And we're looking good from this point. And 31 minutes in, Proctor sending the ball long. It's then picked up by Sevilla, allowing them to attack down the right-hand side, as Hossley, who plays a great ball in behind to Mur, turns back on his left foot, crosses it to the far post, with Swazza with a shot blocked, comes straight back to him, and his shot, I think it must have took a deflection off a PK, and back level in 32 minutes, 2-2 in the match. That's how the first half finished. We're probably lucky to have been leading twice, judging by the fact that we've only had 3 shots and scored 2 of them, and Sevilla have had 9. And then second half, 47 minutes in, 2 minutes into it, we go close with Brenner shooting narrowly over. Then in the 71st minute, nothing really happened between the last highlight and this one. Sevilla on a counter-attack, but we get the ball back and allowing us to counter. Cullen playing it into Awa, who plays a great ball in behind to find Cullen, who slips it past the keeper to make it 3-2. And surely at this point, we're going to the final. 15 minutes left. Hopefully we don't make any more mistakes here, and it's made slightly easier after Markout brings down Cullen, already on a yellow card, picks up a second and gets a red card. And we're going to be playing the last 14 minutes against 10 men. We then get another chance as our corner gets cleared out to Aouar, who plays a 1-2 with Milanovic. His shot is then blocked, and Milanovic crosses to the far post. And that's an absolute sitter of a header for Redondo. He has to score that. Hopefully, he doesn't come back and bite us in the butt, as literally a minute later, Sevilla go down the left with Vargas, who crosses into the middle, and Romero heads over with a great opportunity to make it level in the tie and bring them back within a goal. But that was pretty much the last chance of the game, and we go on to the final, beating Sevilla 3-2 on the day, 5-3 on aggregate, and we are going to a European final. And as predicted, we are going to be playing Lazio in that final. It's going to be played in Turkey at the Besiktas Stadium, and rightly so, Keskinen getting the headlines from that game. 2 goals, so we gave him a little praise. He's been so good for us again this season, and hopefully he can go on to do it in the final. But before we get to the final, we've still got a few more league games left to play, and next up was Hibs, and this was a must-win game. Like I say, having lost that game to Rangers, we needed to win all of our remaining games to have any chance of winning the league. And we started off great with 38 minutes in, Liam Cullen firing into the bottom corner, and that is how the first half finished. The second half, though, not going quite as well. It's 72 minutes in, as the cross comes in to Robbie Ewer, who wins the header to pull Hibs back level, and our chances of the league were quickly fading away. That is until the 86th minute. Brenner finds Dan Gore, who goes left to Brandon Williams, who finds Cullen in the middle with an open goal and makes it 2-1 after I'd just gone attacking. I changed the mentality back to balance, and would you know, 3 minutes later, Hibs go and score. And there goes any chance of us winning the league. Drawing 2-2, and that change of mentality, I knew it at the time, it would come back to bite us, and it did. We also picked up an injury in that game with Balalovic being out for 12 days to 14. Thankfully, though, he should still be fit for the Conference League final, so fingers crossed he makes it, because he's also been very good for us this season. So this is the league table with 2 games left, and as you can see, we're now 5 points behind Celtic, having dropped those 2 points against Hibs. It would have been difficult to catch them anyway, as it looks like they've beat Rangers, and the goal difference is +8 in their favour. But you never know. A big game, big win on the last game of the season, we could have easily swung it back our way. So yeah, this is our recent run of results. Obviously, we lost that Celtic game in the Scottish Cup semi-final, and then the loss to Rangers has completely screwed our season. Obviously, not helped by drawing with Hibs after going in front twice. But a bit of positive news, as again, Litherland looks to be making progress. He's been pretty good for us this season. 6.93 average rating in the league. And I'm happy with how he's played for us. Something we are going to need to sort out, though. Keskinen has got 13 months left on his contract. And he's been, like I say, he's been so good for us this season. You can see from the bottom, 8 goals in the Conference League and 11 in the actual league. He's done bits for us. Now, I know he has kind of been a star player for us, but obviously going forward, I'm going to be looking at improving the squad. So I don't want to be guaranteeing him a star player position. Well, after speaking with his agent, for now, I'm not going to offer a contract, and we'll see what sort of transfer business we can do in the summer before agreeing a new contract, and we'll see whether that's a mistake or not at the time. And next up, we've got Falkirk. We are praying for a Celtic loss to give us any chance of getting back into the title race for this one. Obviously, we've still got to do the business ourselves, and we look to be doing that, as in 7 minutes, Cross comes in and Connor Allen sends it into his own goal to give us a 1-0 lead. Falkirk go close with a free kick in 21 minutes, sending it just wide of the post, and that is how the first half finished, with the scoreline at 1-0. And then second half, Campbell with a long-range effort going just over the bar, and then Ross with a free kick saved by Proctor onto the crossbar, and we do survive to win 1-0, and we probably got away with one. But as you can see, it made no difference in the end. Celtic went on to win 4-2 against Hibs, and that is the title done. So that means that final game of the season against Celtic at Pittodrie He's basically irrelevant now as we can't catch them. But we have done what we set out to at the start of the season, and that was to qualify for the Champions League. So every silver lining and all, the only downside to that is we've only been given a budget of 3 million to spend in the summer. So we're going to be heavily relying on free transfers and potentially loans going into next season. Little disappointed with that, as I expected it to improve year on year as we brought in more and more money. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see who we can bring in and hopefully improve the squad ready for next season. We have also fulfilled Amaro's promise of getting Europa League football. Obviously, we've surpassed it by getting Champions League football. So he's happy. He's also wanted by Al Riyadh. So we're going to have to be careful there, as he currently has a minimum fee release clause of 6.25 million. So we're going to have to look at changing that and potentially offering him a new contract as we go into next season to try and get that bumped up a little bit. So yeah, domestically, the season slipped away from us. But in Europe, we're still standing. 1 game left. Lazio in the final for a European trophy. Next episode, everything comes down to that. Do me a favour, if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in that final episode of this season.